We're now delving into episode 7 of the Brian and Joey Show.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I got my boy, Gabe Mosler.
What up, G?
Gang,
What
gang.
up, G? Fucking Fox Fairchild.
I've known Gabe for about, I don't know, what would you say, 4 or 5 years?
Longer than that.
Longer than that?
Yeah.
You know, he's a fellow musician. We've yet to do a project together yet, but we share a lot of the same likes and whatnot when it comes to music. We ran together. We ran hard together. We've been through we've been through some shit together. Definitely been through
hell and back.
Been through hell and back. So it's cool. It's cool to be. We always said we wanted to do something like this as well. So it's cool that we started it and he could be a part of it.
So this is the first ever sort of production that you guys have done together?
Like this, yeah, no, like, and we've talked about it, but like, especially when he said you were gonna start doing this, I was like, yo, you got to get me on an episode because, like, again, I love this stuff. Like, it's just entertaining. It's like cool. And again, it's just distractions for me. I need to do anything other than like sitting by myself, like being bored.
I feel you on that.
Like just creative stuff, you know.
Yeah, me and you were talking a little bit earlier. You do a little stand up too.
Yeah,
You're
no,
trying to write some stand up.
Really trying to get into that. I used to do when I was younger. Like I said, I'm like really into like film and all that, you know, music production, like all that stuff. Just like trying to like classify myself as like an artist in every form other than drawing, you know.
Yeah,
but
I drew this painting actually.
Yeah, I know.
They contracted me for the movie Goodfellas.
I heard you got a plug in.
They asked me to do it. Yeah, I mean, I was like, of course. I mean, if you want me to, but there's all types of artists. It's weird when I used to like hear that word, I would think musical artist or like art artist, and now like anything that is any sort of creative is like artistry.
Right. Yeah, this is a form of it.
Yeah, it's some form of art, and the podcast is actually sponsored by a local artist who creates jewelry. The company's name is Sure Stones. They're the perfect gift for your girlfriend, mother, any woman in your life that you want to give a gift to. You know, Sure Stones is it's like a beachy kind of style jewelry. You know, a lot of what do you call those things? Like I don't want to say rocks. It's not a rock. It's stones.
Stones.
Sure Stones. Duh, it's a fucking stone.
Seashells.
Like the one stone is called like labradorite or something like that. But each stone has like a different sort of property. And you can find their jewelry at etsy.com/shop/surestonesnj or follow them on Instagram at Sure Stones. Just in case you were wondering, you know, if you had anything, you know, Mother's Day is coming up next May. So like, you know, you got a lot of time to buy it. You know what I mean? Another sponsor of our podcast that's coming up is there's a 5K actually for it's going to benefit. What's it say here? It's on October 12th. It's in Chester Springs, Pennsylvania, and it's $25 to register for each runner if you register before the run, and then $30 if you register the day of, and $15 for kids. If you want to bring your kids there, $15 per kid.
Very cool.
So
Is
it's
that
called
Hustle for Henny?
It is Hustle for Henny, and all the proceeds are going towards Surfside Structured Sober Living Scholarship Fund that will continue to provide addiction recovery services to those who are unable to afford them.
Word up.
That's me. I can never afford shit. You know?
Story of my
Definitely
life.
not the last bag. But if you need more information, Facebook, Hustle for Henny. That's HENNE. So that's all I got as far as advertisements for the show.
All right, cool.
See how I like weave that in there real light?
Good.
Plugging in.
Very smooth.
You know?
No, that's cool.
I got to work on. I like lose breath when I start to say a lot of shit in a row. You know, got to slow down.
Just take it slow.
That's it.
take
I
it
got
slow.
nothing else. I'm just gonna sit here for the rest of the podcast.
Well, your voice still sounds good, yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Crystal clear.
I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
I
Seriously,
appreciate you.
Nah, like seriously, this is so cool. Like just like the format and everything. But yeah, nah, this guy right here. Oh man, I love him. You know, like people say, like, you know, in recovery, oh, you run, you're out with your friends. Like Joey is like one of those like people. Like no matter what, whether I'm messed up and he's right, or he's messed up and I'm right. Like as long as I've known him, he's been, you know, one of those like just solid dudes who like I could talk to about anything. You know. I would die for this kid. Like,
Same here, man. No, like, it's Yeah, it's a similar. It's the same way, dude. Like you were saying, there's people that I ran with that I don't give a shit about, but not everybody that you've used with is an enemy. Like it's just that's just. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
No,
you know, and it's like it's so funny because sometimes like my parents will say things. My parents always think like it's somebody else that
someone else's fault, right?
Yeah, like they never really get. I mean, they do get mad at me for relapsing and whatnot, but I feel like they don't want to blame it on me. It's always like you said, it's somebody else's fault. Like, well, who's getting it for you? Who's doing this and who's doing that? And every time I'm like on my phone trying to get clean, you need to stay off that phone because this is gonna happen. And it's like, I don't know what you think if there's just people waiting for me to, it's like, not like I just
Joey, come back.
Yeah, it's not
Joey,
like
come back.
Yeah, dude. Nobody's like, hey, where you been? Like
Well, they kind of are.
Yeah,
They kind of. I've been getting
dealers.
those calls.
I've had dealers hit me up, ask me where I'm at, and I mean sometimes like running buddies, but nobody will be like, hey, you need to come back and we need to do this, and I'll get you high for free. Like that's just not how it works, man. It's just, at least for me, it wasn't. And it's like, I don't know. They think somebody's just waiting to drag me down, and everybody, you know what they think? They think that other people are the bad influence, and it's like, if you only knew. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, I could drag other people down, way down.
See, that's what I like
Way
about
down.
like my mom. Like she kind of was like in the ringer back in the day, like being one of those like Grateful Dead hippies. Like she knows that like she don't blame my friends. She knows when I do my dirt, like it's me. Like she doesn't want me hanging around certain people, obviously, because some friends are bad. But she knows that like if I'm doing stuff, it's my choice, it's my decision. At the end of the day, like if I'm gonna fuck up, it's gonna be on me. It's not because anyone was dangling anything in front of me. Because if they are, I could always say no. Like when I don't, I don't want to. Like I want to fuck up.
Yeah. So Gabe, you are completely clean and sober right now. Is this correct?
Yep.
Okay, so no Suboxone,
No
anything like that. So that brings us to one of our topics, man. Is Suboxone clean?
Yeah. See, I want to talk about this because, like, when I kicked in rehab, I did it no subs this time, but not really by choice. It was kind of because like I was feeling all right like the first 3 days, and I was just like, nah, I don't want it. I'm gonna take it too early.
Smart.
On the fourth day,
He's like that.
On the fourth day, I was like, can I get it now? And they're like, no. And then they just moved me into residential.
Damn.
Yeah. And I was only going to do detox, and I ended up staying for the residential there.
Did you take anything like Johnny's or anything like that?
Well, what Johnny's? What Johnny's are you talking about?
Well, the gabapentin.
Nah, what do they give you to lower your heart rate?
Clonidine.
Clonidine.
Yeah,
I took
clonidine.
Clonidine like twice. That was it. And like I said, I was feeling good till like the fourth day, but whatever, like for me, it's like mental.
Clonidine helps.
It does. It puts me to sleep at least.
Right. Yeah, but that's the good thing is like, but I do similar shit. When I go to detox, usually it's like a normal. When I go, it's
Last time I was in Disney World.
Yeah. No, I try to take a lower dose than they give you. In my experience, I feel like a lot of places over medicate you with Suboxone. You know what I mean?
100%.
But say I have a 5 to 7 day taper, like maybe I'll take them for the first 3 days. There's been times I haven't taken anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's been 2 times in my life I went to detox and I took it too soon. The heroin was still in my system, and I went into precipitated withdrawal, and that's the worst fucking thing I've ever been through. Next to kicking in jail, that's like I don't know, man. But yeah, I mean. So my thing is like Suboxone. It's almost what?
Nothing. I shot a Suboxone one time, thinking it was a Subutex too early.
See,
I thought I was gonna die.
That's
like,
the worst, dude.
It was like I really thought I was gonna die.
Did you get like a rush over your
got
body and
cold,
okay.
Immediately cold.
It comes instantly.
And then just start sweating.
Yeah.
Like,
But how long did it last for?
maybe like an hour.
That's
or
what
two.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Almost like some people say cotton fever lasts really long for them.
That's what I thought it was when I did that. I thought it was cotton.
For
cotton
me,
fever.
it was only like 2 hours, but it's like shaking for.
It was
2
horrible,
hours.
right?
Like,
Bro, I got cotton
horrible.
fever one time in my life, and I was at work, and I just kept trying to do a cotton. I just kept rinsing this cotton over and over and fucking over. And
that shit bugs me out,
dude. Eventually, yeah,
so fun.
dude, it was bad. It was really bad. And I'm at work, and it's in the morning, and I'm just getting in the truck with the truck driver, and I'm sitting shotgun, and we pull up to our first stop, and dude, I'm like shaking violently and shivering, and I just feel fucking terrible. And my boy that I'm working with, he's like, dude, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do you say? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I was like really like, it was bad. And he's like, you want me to bring you to the hospital, or what do you like? He didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no idea.
I shot a piece of dirty cotton. Yeah, like, how do you tell someone?
Yeah. See, I feel like there's different. I don't even want to get into that. There's different myths about what, is it a piece of cotton? Is it bacteria that's in the cotton? Whatever. That doesn't fucking matter. To get back on the subject, like when it comes to Suboxone, I feel like it's definitely pretty necessary for you to take it in detox. If you could kick without it, like, hats off to you. I've done it before. I've definitely kicked cold turkey before. You know what I mean? In detox and on my dad's couch. Yep. But like, for the first couple days, I feel like is definitely the worst. Is definitely the worst. So if you could get through the first,
it's the first like they say 24 hours. For me, it became like 48, 50 hours. That's the worst part.
Well, there's
waiting to.
There's the
take
post acute.
Right? Like,
there's the post acute. After that too, though.
Pause.
Oh yeah,
Pause.
It's to wait. That's the worst part.
That's the worst, dude. And like when I first started taking subs, I could take a sub literally right after a bag.
No way.
I could take it like 4 hours. I remember the first time I did it was like 4 hours after I did. I can't remember if it was a perk or a bag or what.
Yeah.
By the end, I couldn't even get on the subs.
Right.
I had to wait so long that I remember I waited like 36 hours one time and I went straight into Percip. Like,
right.
Bro, because it's like mental too. Like it really is. When you like, I don't know, this is just for me, like, I wasn't getting dope sick until someone was like, you don't get dope sick. And I was like, what? And then like I start like thinking about it. It's like, dude, I'm sick.
It plays a factor.
It's just so like, that's why like I can't, if I can have subs and everything at home, can't fucking do it. You put me in a detox, I don't have anything because I know I can't get it in jail. You can't get it. It makes it easier.
I agree with you, dude. Same thing. Like you were saying, you didn't take them when you went to rehab.
Yeah.
Same thing. I went in like straight off like a 3 bundle a day habit.
Yeah.
And took no subs. They did give me gabapentin though, which helped. And I thought I was good. Like I'm out there playing volleyball, softball, running around, like feeling good. Wasn't until they moved me to res and I stopped taking the gabbies, then I started withdrawing.
But like I wanted to bring this up because like the best like meeting I had ever had in my life, I swear, was in this last rehab. We had like, it was literally a meeting was supposed to come in, they didn't. We did an in-house meeting and we had a debate on is Suboxone clean or whatever, and people were yelling at each other, walking out. It was fucking just awesome because like it just wasn't boring. They weren't just like sitting there like reading off a paper. You know how it is sometimes in rehab, people don't want to be there. Like people were actually like interactive, like because there was a kid in there who was on subs or whatever, was going to meetings claiming clean time, and then his sponsor told him he couldn't have it and he got all upset, got off, relapsed, died, whatever. So like I was, again, I don't take them, I don't like the shits, but I was saying like, would you consider someone who's living a correct program, they're taking what a doctor prescribes them as prescribed, not
Just
putting
says no.
any altering or mood, because they say no mind or mood altering substance, right?
See,
Have you
I
ever-
would say no.
Have you ever had a slice of pizza? Does that alter your mood?
Yeah, see, this is the like the roundabout shit you can go in. Like I drink 16 ounces of Cafe Bustelo with 2 grams of fucking sugar in it every morning when I wake up, right? And it's definitely mind or mood altering, but then it like you can really go with anything. You know what I mean? Like eating a good meal or drinking too much Diet Pepsi. But like I guess the real thing is, like is it like what's it doing to your quality of life? You know what I mean?
Some people would argue. Like I said, I don't really care.
See,
but some
it
people
doesn't matter.
argue
I don't
that,
matter either.
like,
It's an interesting discussion.
It makes some people, like they just can't do without it. But if they go and
Yes,
get their
they can.
methadone every morning, if they take their sub every morning, and then they take care of their kids, they take.
No, fuck that.
It's just like I thought it was an interesting topic.
100%,
'cause
definitely very
people,
interesting.
There are people that get so turned away and so offended when someone tells them you have to do this or that.
I'm not saying you
wouldn't-
have to do
right.
anything.
No, and I like.
I wouldn't judge. See, I don't judge people. If that's working for you, great. Like for me personally, like I don't want to put anything foreign in my body. I don't even like taking Tylenol.
Right,
You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
scared to take
Yeah,
Advil.
I don't
like,
want to, and here's why. You know, for real, like I don't want to depend on anything. Like coffee's one thing, cigarettes. But in the honest truth is, what I honestly think about is like, if Armageddon happens or some shit, I don't want to be fiending for a Suboxone or you know what I'm saying. Like I want to be able to survive just me. And like Armageddon, that's extreme, but just in general,
Zombie
like,
apocalypse.
Yeah, that's more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
See,
Or
like-
when Hurricane Sandy came, like I
Exactly.
needed to go get my pills. The
How you
phone,
gonna cop
the
dope?
phone
Like-
line was down. You know what I mean? Shit was fucked up. You couldn't drive here. You couldn't drive there. Shit was fucked up.
Yeah.
well,
You know, if something like that happens again, soon I'm gonna, God willing, be clean, and I won't need to fucking worry about shit like
Exactly.
that. Like, you know what I mean? Vacations, shit like that,
You can
bro.
do
It's just-
anything. Yeah.
you're fucking so what's the word I'm looking for?
You remember going on
Dependent.
trips?
You're so
Chained down.
Yeah,
Chained
you're,
or-
you're so limited to what you
Yeah.
could do when you
Like,
have a fucking
when
addiction,
when
bro.
you went to Jamaica, like I guess you didn't do this, but like I remember
Champagne
going on
property.
trips, having to like plan for it. Like I remember one time I went on
Yeah.
a cruise with my family. I was literally like dumping dope out and breaking apart those little capsules that you get like whatever it is, like cold medicine in, and filling them with dope, putting them back in the thing, and like
fucking nuts.
I
It's
told him to
nuts,
bring it on the
dude.
plane.
I did that too.
It's so sketchy. though.
I've done it too. Yeah, it's
You just
fucked
gotta,
up.
dude. You just gotta send it, bro. Like you gotta put it in an obvious spot. I remember one time I was going through security and they got like the body scanners, and I had to eat the weed like in my pocket. And I was starting to get a little nervous.
Weed. You brought weed on a fucking airplane.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little nervous. Dope's easy. You just put it in your wallet. You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so I had to eat the weed in my
I don't
pocket, and like I'm about to go through the thing. I'm like, fuck, dude. So I grab it right as I'm walking in the thing. I grab it out of my pocket, and you know how like you put your hands up like this.
Dude, get the fuck
I
out.
swear to God, I had it in the palm of my
You're
hand
nuts.
through the scanner, dog. It worked though. Like,
Fuck that.
See, the thing is, I feel like partly TSA is just like a kind of like a scare tactic sort of thing.
mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with the mail. I had a friend of mine who was shipping weed back and forth from the East Coast for years.
Mm-hmm.
Years. Never had one package stopped. It's sheer volume. There's no way they're going to be able to get it. Or are they even really looking for drugs? Like, do they really give a shit? They're worried about anthrax. They're worried about people bringing gas and shit on a plane to blow it up. Like, why do they care if some guy has, like, a couple dope bags? Like,
I
It's
forget
nothing.
what comedian said it, but it might have been Jim Jeffries who said that TSA is for white people to feel safe, like old white people.
yeah. Yeah.
True.
You know?
And I feel like it is, like
If
I
someone
was.
wants to do something, they're gonna do it. Like,
See, I was
Yeah,
in
like you
first
bring weed
grade
on a plane.
when 9/11 happened. So like I don't know how the airports ran before that
Right,
shit,
right.
It was like going into a bus station
but yeah, apparently
or
there's
taking the train. It was nothing.
like they still had the scan. They still had the thing. Like you put
Metal
your bag on
detectors.
it, the metal detector.
X-rays.
But it wasn't like it is now. I don't know. I traveled a lot back then. I'm having a hard time remembering.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a joke. I mean, like stuff like I didn't even mean to bring like in my gym bag broken crack pipes and needles, like and like I'd get back and unpack and be like, holy shit, I flew across the country with this shit in my bag.
And nothing. They never said nothing.
Nah.
Yeah. Well, look, man. I don't know.
Not that you should have brought it. I mean, it's good
What
you
about
did.
what about like
Whatever,
kratom?
Whatever.
What do you think of kratom?
See, I've
No,
never done
dude.
that,
Yeah.
but I was just in a sober living house, and one of the guys got kicked out. He had like a couple $100 worth of it mailed in because everyone out there they were doing kratom. They were trading gabapentins and selling them. Like
Yeah.
that wasn't living clean to me, you know. Like
I just feel like, dude, if you're gonna fucking do that shit, dude,
Then do
go
the real shit.
Heroin.
Yeah.
Just fucking. Why are you putting
It's the same
yourself?
thing. You're still dependent.
That's
right?
yeah,
Putting
like
yourself through so much.
that's how I
bullshit.
feel when I
Yeah.
relapse. Like I'm off to the races on the real shit. Like you're not gonna hear
And
from me.
and it's like, okay, fine, I get it. When it comes to like maintenance, it's like, okay, well, methadone is legal. Suboxone is legal. You know, it's like, okay, fine, but like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, it's
like,
all a scam to keep Americans like hooked on
it still
their
does,
drugs.
Yeah. So what's that mean?
It's
you're just
money,
You're gonna
you
be a
know?
legal heroin addict now?
Plus methadone, like it's lifestyle is no better than being a dope fiend.
Oh,
No,
it's
dude.
terrible.
You're still
You still
alright,
look
at
like
the end of the
shit.
day. At the end of the day, you are still dependent on something, and
Yeah.
you are not free.
Nope.
You're not free.
Mm-hmm.
Maintenance, in my opinion, maintenance is not the way to go. I know of one person that did the methadone program the way it was supposed to, and he's been off it for a couple years now. And my hat goes off to him, and I'm glad he's fine. But that's the only case. And believe me, I know a lot of fucking people, dude. I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that did that. Most people I know that are on the methadone program are still using heroin with it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, people that tried Suboxone maintenance. Dude, I tried
That's what
Suboxone
subs
maintenance.
do, yeah.
I lasted a couple days. I just feel like it's not the way to
Subs
go, man.
become like the crutch, so you can still do dope, and then you got like a wedding to go to.
It's a mess. It becomes,
subs, you know?
dude. It becomes a mess. So what you're doing is you're telling these people that are suicidal, that have no hope, to be responsible with their medication. That's what you're telling these people. Be responsible with this legal heroin. Are you fucking nuts, dude? Dude, it's all or nothing for me. For me, it's all or nothing. And I cannot stand these fucking doctors. I just feel like they're going to kill a lot of people these ways, because what they're essentially saying is, you don't need anything else. You're not taking care of your spirituality. You're not taking care of your, your physical shit. I mean, that shit's no good for you either way. You know what I mean? You're not taking care of any of that stuff.
So
Go ahead.
I got a question for you, because this just kind of ran through my mind. So I noticed that every time I've been in rehab, like the demographic shifted, and not the demographic of the individual, but the demographics of drugs. It's always white guys in rehab. It's always
usually.
Usually almost always white guys.
Especially nowadays.
Exclusive, yeah.
I think I've probably been over 10 rehabs, less than 20 is what I always say, and I probably been in with like maybe 5 black guys. Maybe less Spanish people, and then like usually there's one Indian or one Asian of some sort in there too. But
No,
I'm
he's
serious.
so
That's,
right.
that's
No,
how it
you are.
is.
There's like
So what was your question?
But I noticed in my first rehab, there was, I'm just making up numbers, but rough ballpark, 40% of people with opioids, right? Half of them were heroin, half were painkillers. And then there was like a bunch of alcoholics, and then there was coke, meth, 1 or 2 guys, and like PCP. It was like kind of mixed, right? And then every time I went after that, it started to change. Like the amount of people who were on opioids grew, and then through the years, the amount of people who were doing opiates, it went from being pills to mostly to heroin. So what I saw in there was I saw a lot of older guys who got put on pain pills for work injuries, like a lot of union guys and stuff like that who had bad knees, and they just got hooked on pain pills, because if you take any sort of opiate like that, you're going to get physically dependent. So does Suboxone actually have a place in pharmacy for people who actually aren't real alcoholics or drug addicts, but just people who got dependent on a substance? Because there's a big difference between being like the real fucking alcoholic or addict versus somebody who's chemically dependent on something.
I agree.
There
100%.
was a few guys at my sub doctor who were there, who were like plumbers or whatever, and just got hooked on that thing.
So what do you?
So like, here's the thing, right? All right,
break it down.
let's take my mother for example,
Okay.
right? Definitely not an alcoholic, most certainly not a drug addict, right? Say she goes in for some sort of surgery, and or a car accident, God forbid, or any sort of scenario where she needs pain medicine to heal, right? So she gets on a pain management for, let's say, 3 months. She's going to go through withdrawal because she is now chemically dependent on whatever type of pain pill it is.
100%.
So would Suboxone have a place for a taper for her to get off of the pain pills without going through some sort of severe withdrawal?
Sure.
Maybe, but the first time, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but like the first time I came off, it was oxys. It was no problem. You know what I mean?
I didn't have that.
I got off oxys, no problem, because I didn't know about withdrawal, like you were saying. I didn't even know about withdrawal. I barely got sick. But
I don't know, bro. I mean,
but here's the thing, right? So like,
I get the mental part, but
the problem with that is, right? So like what you were saying, a lot of people go through that. They get prescribed something for an injury and they become addicts, right? Like that's kind of what happened to me, except I wasn't have an injury. I just got hooked on 80s because I was sniffing 80s. You know what I mean? So I got off them and I was good. I was healthy, happy. But now I know what that 80 feels like. You know what I'm saying? So now later, even though I'm sober, I may not be an addict per se, but I've gotten a taste of the feeling, so now I go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like now I do it again.
So then the question really is there any sort of distinction between people who are actually real alcoholics and real drug addicts, or is if you start to put these substances into your body, you cross that line no matter what?
I think so. I think with opiates you do. when you get addicted to opiates, I think I would say so.
I might have to fucking agree with you on that, man. Yeah. I really think that might be the case. I don't think it's the case with other drugs like Coke or Molly and shit like that, but I think those opiates are different fucking beasts.
It's a weird. It's a weird chemical, man. It does some weird shit to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, man. From the evidence I've seen so far, I'm gonna have to disagree.
What do you mean?
I've seen some people that use the way I did for a period of time, who have put it down for a significant amount of time, who don't need to do the things I do in order to stay sober, and can be sober on their not sober, stay off of heroin for some time, and they could do other things.
Wish.
Yeah,
that's not like that for me. I'm saying there's people out there that exist like that.
I believe you.
Like they. So here's the thing, man. It's like kind of what Brian was saying. Is like, I don't care who you are. If you do opiates because of its, addictive features, like it's heroin is one of the most addictive drugs in the world. Like, I don't care who you are. If you do that, the most strong-willed person can do it. It's just, dude, it's a physical thing. You are gonna get addicted if you take it, for so long. You
don't think there's a line you cross though? Like, at some point, like, see, a lot of people
not for everybody.
A lot of people will do it for a while. Like, I've heard people do it in their teens or whatever, and then now they're married with kids. They don't have any urge, right?
Well, how?
But like, so for me, like, the first time I got clean, then I relapsed because I was, for whatever reason, maybe because I was with my friends and they were doing it. You know what I'm saying? But at a certain point, I feel like there's that line for everybody. Like, maybe some of these people didn't cross that line. That's possible.
So what about the Vietnam vets? All those people that were shooting dope in Vietnam because they had nothing better else to do. So they were out in the fields shooting it every single day, just waiting for some action. You know what I mean? Some did, some didn't. And a bunch of vets came back in the, what was that, the 60s?
And then 70s.
Came back and kicked.
But
never picked it up again.
Not a lot of them did that, bro.
Not a lot, but there are cases. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
because a lot of them died on the street.
A lot of them did. I'm just saying there are cases where people, it doesn't happen to everybody. Yeah. Like, dude, I'm not saying like it's a huge amount.
Right.
There's definitely a lot of people do cross that line. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
the lines for me have been blurred. Like, as long as I can remember, I've been like, you know what I'm saying?
Me too.
Like,
I'm not
push
saying
it
I'm
to the edge,
any
no
fucking
matter
different.
what. Like, that's why, like, I can't determine that line for other people because, like, I just, like, as a kid, no matter what it was, I would indulge in anything I could. Like, whether it's sugar or, like, I was thinking about this today. It's, like, fucked up. Like, I counted, like, the times I drank 3 sodas in 2018, ate fast food twice, and smoked weed, like, 4 times. Someone was like, well, how many times do you do heroin? I was like, I don't know. Because I have more clean time off soda and fast food than I do, like, drugs. But, like, I indulged in that shit, too. I used to drink soda, like, disgusting, like, almost half a case every night after school, like, playing Xbox, like but
you
like
were one of those.
Yeah, like, I indulged in anything that, like, gave me the slightest rush, That's why, like, I get weird with is addiction a disease or a choice? I guess it's a disease, but it is a choice too. Like, I make the conscious decision every time. There's not anything that, like, clicks for me. I just might have had that disease since I was born. Yeah. I like to just argue for the sake of arguing, but, like,
of course,
in the end, it is a choice. It just might also be a disease.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I also think that, like, if you look at the technical term, like, yeah, it probably applies, but it's just a strong word, and that's why people get turned off by it.
Bent out of shape.
The disease word?
Yeah,
that whole
that's
debate.
The only reason why people get pissed, man. Is it's like, but the thing is, it's like,
is a
dude,
weird...
it is. I like to say it's a condition.
Yeah, true.
It's a condition.
Yeah.
Mental defect.
A mental issue, really.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have all the traits that they say the disease. But it's hard for me to see it as a disease. Like I
Yeah,
get
me
it.
too.
I don't.
Me
know.
too.
Yeah.
I still fight with my mind. Like, is it disease? Is it not? You know what?
I don't get in the
you know
argument
what? Yeah.
though. Like,
you know what? Like, who gives a fuck what it is?
Yes.
Why are we so focused on whether it's a disease or
Right.
not? Why don't we come together as a community and try to fix this or not fix it? Let's try to, let's try to help this thing.
You're right, but it is fun to troll. Well, both
Yeah.
sides, like the super recovery people, and
You
then
would
like
be
the
trolling.
anti-recovery people.
And
Like,
that's why debates like that still keep going on
Yeah.
because you can
trolling is fun though, right?
I
It
think
is.
I'm a
Yeah.
libertarian, but people think I'm like a hardcore leftist liberal. I'm not, but I love trolling the left. Like I'll act like a fucking Trump supporter sometimes, just to like.
You know
I
what?
love commenting positive on Trump things.
Yeah, but like
Oh my God, it's terrible.
I hate Trump. Like I really hate like the left and like a lot of their views. Like I'm all for not pro-abortion but pro-life. I'll say pro-abortion too to piss off people. Like like because again, trolling's fun. The internet's fucking
The internet is
great.
great.
I love
dude.
those.
Internet drama.
I love those posts that say, methadone is free to addicts, but how come insulin isn't free to
Yeah, yeah.
diabetics? It's like,
I love all those.
since
parts.
when the fuck is methadone
Yeah.
free? Since when?
I don't know.
People just
I was
make
never
shit
on
up.
it. It was never. Free
I've
to
never
me.
been to a methadone clinic. You pay for it when you go there.
Yeah,
Like how does
you
that
pay
work?
like is it a flat fee a month, and you go every day, and then you get your take home or something.
Nothing is
it's
free in
Yeah,
this
it's like
world.
a
Someone's
fee
paying for it.
that you pay every
Somebody's
month, and
paying
you
for
can
it.
get like funding or insurance to help take some
Right,
of
I'm
it
sure there's
off,
some sort
but-
of state funding and stuff
Yeah.
too.
And like, and I don't know how insulin works. Like, do you pay
Health
out of
insurance.
okay, so it's the same fucking
Yeah.
thing with Suboxone and shit like
Yeah,
that.
it's-
Some insurances cover it, some don't.
But like I
Fuck.
imagine
So-
like someone like wanting to kill themselves behind a keyboard and just like me sitting there like
Yeah.
type, like
Laughing your ass off.
yeah.
So, all right, I thought of another question. Joe,
What?
this is for you specifically.
What? Fucking pissed off.
If you're taking insulin, are you clean?
No, dude.
No, right? No way.
Fuck
That's
your
hard.
chemo,
No way,
your
dude. You
diabetes.
can't count your clean time if you're on insulin.
Nah. See, I was in a meeting with this guy, and he picked up like 60 days, and I knew he was a diabetic, and I knew he just did some
You had
insulin.
to work on him.
I knew he did some insulin, and I called him out. I'm like, dude, you are not clean.
And you know what he was doing too? I think I saw that guy. He was eating cookies and shit too.
Oh
on top
my
of it.
God.
Fucking junkie.
I know, bro.
Smoking cigarettes.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
That's
Bunch of
another one.
pixie sticks in the
Yeah,
car.
nah.
I used to
like
troll.
on a serious note,
So like real quick, like so opiates, right? Kind of on that thing we were just talking about, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Like I said before, like I had that addict mentality, that disease, that selfish, self-centered, whatever, just scumbag disease.
me too.
Yeah. But like
Hashtag me
I
too.
grew up smoking weed, drinking, whatever. Never really cared for alcohol. I always puked. I was always the one puking, right? Smoking weed. I liked it if I was like snowboarding or doing something by myself, but as soon as I'm around people, I'm like a recluse. You know what I mean? So I don't even really like weed that much. So I never really developed a problem until
You found
I was introduced to opiates. And then I got instantly chemically hooked, right? And obviously we're all here because we like how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
So I went from being like, yeah, I had the addict mentality, but I didn't become a dysfunctional addict until opiates.
Oh yeah, nothing brought
Yeah,
me to my
no.
knees. Like I indulged, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't rob someone for a
Right,
10 bag of
absolutely
weed
not.
if I didn't have it.
See,
yeah.
I would.
Would you?
I did.
Yeah, Joe would beat
I
you
was
for a dime.
I did.
You not me, but you would.
He would have.
I wouldn't.
You've beaten people for 10 sacks.
Well, beating somebody for weed's different.
I've done a lot. I've done a lot of.
But you're not gonna
stupid
rob a store at like knife
No,
point
no,
to go
not-
buy some weed.
shit. Right. No, I just used to fucking, you know what I mean, run around and
You're
you
just
know.
a sav.
Well, nah, I was just a fucking jerk off.
Nah,
you
you
know
were
what I mean?
savage.
Joey the jerk off.
Like,
junkie from
well, the
Jersey.
thing is, I did a lot of that when I was young. You know what I mean? And if I wasn't selling weed, and if I didn't have a job,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in high school, I must have had 20 different jobs. I could never hold a job. You know what I mean? So in between those times, you know, I'm not gonna ask my parents for money. You know what I mean? Like I have, but there comes a time where it's like,
I gotta get
You
this
gotta-
weed, man.
You're gonna go
Dude,
beat
I had-
some high school
I had
kids.
to,
Yeah.
so I was thinking about that. Because I always used to say that, Jordan. I used to always say like, well, I didn't become an addict until I started doing opiates, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I really did. I started looking at my behaviors when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
And so this is one of the funniest things is it's like when I started smoking weed, I started smoking weed at a fairly young age, I guess, like 12 years old, you know, beginning of like 7th grade. And dude, my best friend at the time introduced me to it. Really smart kid, really smart dude. And, you know, great family, great grades, like, you know, pretty popular kid, musician. So I'm like, if he could smoke weed and his life's together, I could probably do that. You know, and he completely sold me. He was like one of those hippie kids, so he was all into it. He completely sold
That's
me.
a crazy thought to have as a 12-year-old. Crazy thought. Like, think about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you are at 12 years old thinking that, like, well, you know, if everything's going well for him, then maybe, like, I can do it too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's,
Yeah.
like, nuts.
Well, he sold me on the idea, too. He was like, well, dude, all the best bands, you know, they you know, the Beatles and whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And that was around the time I started watching Friday, and Smokey was my biggest idol. My biggest idol. I thought Chris Tucker in that movie was like great, you know?
Great.
So like I started
He's the
smoking
man,
weed,
dude.
and it was literally like the fucking clouds parted and the heavens have reached out to me. And are you guys hearing me, or is that just
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Your headphones might have went out.
Did they go out? I don't know. Whatever. So
The battery could be dead.
it was my solution, dude. I was like, dude, this is awesome, right? But my buddy, I guess I'm not gonna say his name. His name is fucking Buzz, okay? Buzz Lightyear,
Buzz
you know?
Lightyear, I like him.
And Buzz, he was cool with not like smoking for a while, you know? He'd be like, yeah, you like that? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. And I'm like, we should do that again, like real soon. He'd be like, yeah. And then I wouldn't hear from him for a while, and I would be like, yeah, we gotta smoke, like we gotta smoke now and tomorrow and I was so like
Yep.
I'm already like planning the next day and what about when this comes? And he's like, dude, chill. Like this is what he told me at a young age. He said, if you keep doing it like that, it's gonna lose its fun. You don't want that to happen. And I couldn't get with that.
Oh shit.
I couldn't get with that.
That's pretty fucking profound for a
Yeah.
kid in 7th grade, dude.
Dude, I couldn't get with that.
That's insanely profound.
Yeah.
I
that
never
just-
understood, and like I would smoke weed with like my cousin and a group of friends, and like it just always seemed like after school, like dude, there would be times when my parents would give me lunch money for school, and I like purposely wouldn't eat lunch so I could go get a sack after school with my
Yep.
buddies, and they would be like, nah, like I'm good, I'm not gonna smoke, and I'd be rolling up a blunt, I'd be like, I'm rolling a blunt right now, and you're gonna tell me you don't want to hit this and it's free? I couldn't understand that, dude. Why would you not want to escape this fucking thing we call life right now?
Right.
Nah, yeah, like
So now looking back, maybe that shit, you know, yeah, was it just weed? Yeah. Is it going to play a lot of harm? Probably not a lot of harm, but like if you look at it like that, that's kind of deep. You know what I mean?
Very
Yeah.
deep.
And not for
Very, very
nothing,
deep.
not for nothing, I started smoking weed for 1 year and already I was getting arrested for it.
Really?
3 years later, getting arrested again for it. 3 years later, did I get arrested? Maybe it was 4 years later, getting arrested for selling dope. So it's like not everybody goes down that spiral, you know? But I sure did. Was it a gateway? I don't know.
Well, the gateway, in my opinion, the gateway is more just that it gets you around people that
the lifestyle.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Right.
do you know what I
get
mean? It's
introduced to
like
that stuff.
those kids that I used to smoke with and like occasionally the kids that would be like, yeah, I'll hit this, and then you know the people that could take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I guess the reason why they didn't go down harder things and down the destructive path was because they didn't feel the need to escape life the way I did.
Right.
See, I could see all this now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't
But,
think
like-
I was smart enough to realize I could escape life that way, right? Because I was the guy that could take it or leave it, right? There was a lot of times I didn't smoke. My friends would be smoking. But I honestly don't think I realized, like I say this, like if I knew that dope would make me feel the way it did when I was 11, I'd have been a dope head at 11.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm recording a podcast. I got to call you back.
Well,
Hold up, put him on speaker.
Nah.
even for me, like when I started like smoking pot, like I said, my parents are hippies or whatever, but like me too. Like once I started smoking, I wanted to do it every day, and like I'm even like a component to where like again, I like to be that guy Bill W. studied with LSD, so like you know it's possible I can take it. Like, but like even weed, I used to argue, oh yeah, it's got health benefits, and it does. Like you can look at it, but like me doing it at such a young age, when my brain was still developing and shit, it made like Rogan says this. He's like, I don't think people who smoke weed are lazy, but lazy people shouldn't smoke weed type thing. Like. It just, like, I didn't want to do my homework or anything.
No.
I wanted to roll up.
I didn't want to do anything.
Sit back, smoke, like, play
Nintendo.
Xbox, hang out with girls or something. Because, like, that was the thing, too. Like, I could get weed, and I had a stepfather who wanted to be cool with me, so he bought me alcohol. So, like, that made me popular in Florida. And was like, yeah, weed and alcohol and girls and, like... But it was every day. It wasn't just the weekends. And, like, I had friends, too, who were like, dude, I got school tomorrow. And I'm like, what? Let's get drunk.
Yeah.
We got time for school, bro.
Yeah.
Like weed, like I found my place in smoking weed. Like I felt like I found my place. You know what I mean? Like I didn't find my niche when it came to school. Like I didn't excel in schoolwork. I didn't find my niche in sports. Like I didn't excel in being an athlete, right? I didn't excel in like a couple things, you know what I mean? It's like all I cared about was music and smoking weed at a young age, okay? And I didn't like, you know, so when I started smoking weed and when the older kids up the block told me that I rolled a pretty nice fucking blunt for a 12-year-old, my ego went
through the roof.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, you know, when you don't have many things to look forward to as a kid, you know what I mean? And that happens, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Yeah, I heard part of that conversation when I was like going to the bathroom. It's weird. Like I wasn't very good at sports, but I killed it in school from like a young age all the way up. You know what I mean? Like I've always been good at writing. I've always been like always gotten good grades. But it was weird, man. Like I came like I had shit to look forward to, but I still jumped in somehow. You know what I mean? Like I had you know, at a young age, I was working down in DC for the federal government. I had an internship with like Major League Baseball when I was like 17. Like I was doing like all-star shit like before I even graduated high school. But then I got to college, started doing Oxycontins, and then 7 years later, I'm smoking crack behind dumpsters in Camden. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck does that happen?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Look, I don't know how this addiction thing works. I really don't. And I'm kind of tired of like arguing with people that don't understand this thing. And it's like I said, man, we got to stop focusing on like, is it a moral thing? Is it a disease? Is it a weak self-will? Is it like, let's just do like, life is too short, man.
Right.
Life is too short to be worrying about this stupid shit, man. Like let's fucking come together and find like a common ground. Like how can we, you know, how could we help? How could we prevent your fucking kid from picking up? You know what I mean? How could we prevent like, you know, like all I want to do is reach somebody that you know, might be going down that path, bro.
Right.
Like I don't want anybody to go down the misery and the fucking pain I've been through because of those little fucking blue pills, dude. I don't. And it's crazy, man. It's like, you know, 1 year I'm fucking smoking weed, you know, the next summer I'm doing coke, you know, next school year I'm doing oxys, next fucking summer I'm doing dope. Like it happens so quickly. I would have never thought that my life would turn out the way it did, bro, but it did. You know what I mean? And like I gotta look at it like, you know, it happened for a reason.
some sort of reason. Definitely
kind of
had
reason.
to.
But I think like maybe there needs to be some kind of like program like in schools or something. Like maybe if like
Dare.
Like, well,
Hey.
think about it. Yeah, but nah, dude. Like I know you're joking, but honestly, like when it comes to like physical education and shit like that, like I can remember being in health class and them doing like a little PowerPoint running through, you know, slides of this drug and slides of that drug. I think we need to be educated more about like the you know, the things that could happen, dude. The consequences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember my senior year in the beginning of my senior year, I was 17 years old. That's just when I was starting to get into the Roxy's. Okay, and it was starting to get pretty deep.
Would that have helped you though? At that
I don't
point?
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
that shit went
maybe,
one ear out the other for me. Like,
Yep.
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Maybe
before.
maybe I don't even remember. Maybe they did say something and I just wasn't. Well, listen to this. So this is kind of like the point I'm getting at. Is like when I was my beginning of my senior year, 17 years old, just started doing the pills pretty heavy, and my homeroom teacher plays. You guys familiar? I know you are. You guys are familiar with Chris Herron, the basketball junkie. He played for the Nuggets, played for the Celtics.
Yeah.
You've never seen that, Jordan?
I've never seen it.
He has this documentary.
I wanna see it, though.
He has this documentary called Unguarded, right? And
what is it, 12 and 12 or something, or like
30 for 30. Yeah, it's an ESPN
12
special.
12. It's
And
like
this
little
guy,
less than half.
this guy Chris Herron goes into his whole story about how he, made it to the NBA and got fucked up on drugs and ruined everything.
he was like shooting dope in the parking lot before games, wasn't he?
Dude, you
That's
got it.
crazy.
His story is fucking amazing. He's like a
Unbelievable.
he's like a motivational speaker now.
Yeah,
I don't
he
even know
goes
if
on tour.
I don't know if he goes by that, but that's essentially what he does. Is he goes to these schools and stuff like that, and what he'll do is he'll tell his fucking nightmare, and I think that's what we're missing now. You know what I mean? But it's like he came to my school my senior year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I knew that. I think I knew that.
I wasn't able to see him for whatever reason. It wasn't for my specific period that I was in or for my grade. I don't know what it was, but I didn't go. We couldn't go. And I remember my homeroom teacher, she knew of Chris Herron. And I remember her being pretty pissed off that we couldn't go because she knew his story. She's seen his special on ESPN, and she thought it'd be really good if we go down there. So what she did was for our period or whatever, she let us watch the movie. So I remember sitting there, and I had no idea who this dude was. And I remember sitting there watching this movie, and I'm literally thinking about, where am I going to get this fucking Roxy when I get out of school?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something a fucking 17-year-old kid in school shouldn't have to be worrying about. And I'm watching this fucking movie, and I'm like, wow. Like, it was powerful. I heard the message. I definitely heard the message. Like, saw the hope, wanted to help, didn't think I was there yet.
Right.
Well, dude, like I've seen family, like close family, from a young kid be heroin addicts. Leave their kids. Dad dies, ODs, mom gets AIDS, like bad shit from heroin. Like I remember being a kid, like knocking cigarettes out of people's hands, like you shouldn't smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing these heroin things, like oh my god, heroin. Like to me, before I came to New Jersey, honestly, heroin was like the untouchable. Like I smoke weed, I did coke, but heroin? Are you kidding me?
Trust me.
Next thing you know, I'm doing it. So like, I don't know. I just think I don't know what the answer is. But I mean, I know.
I don't either. I'm just brainstorming.
Yeah. No, I hear you though. I hear
Education. I don't know. Maybe you're right, dude. Maybe that shit's not gonna help. Maybe if I, like I hear somebody say like in recovery, be the person that you needed when you were a kid or something.
I agree. I agree with that, dude.
And that's pretty cool. That might help me now, but is that gonna help them?
Well,
you know what I mean.
So,
that might be pretty productive for my recovery to help somebody else. Or to try and help somebody else, to put in the effort to do that. Yeah. That's helping me probably more than it's going to help that kid. Because if that kid's destined for misery and pain and addiction, there's nothing I could do about it.
Well, I agree with you 1,000. And I think a big part of it, dude, is like age and maturity, right? Like when you're a kid, when you're young in school, like you're trying to fit in, no matter what. Like you got your cool kids and whatever, but even everybody's trying to fit in. Everyone's trying to be cool. So when you're not really yourself, like you haven't found yourself, you don't know yourself. Like now being 34 years old, like to me, I was talking to this about someone the other day, like to me now, like to be like uncool is cool, right? Like to be a fucking dork is cool, dude. Like just be yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that for me anyway, for my story, like that was a huge part of it. It's just not being comfortable in my skin, not being able to be myself. Yeah. And it's hard to teach somebody that.
It is hard to teach somebody that.
You got to instill that confidence in a kid from a very young age. That's like comes back to the whole like dad and mom thing. Like,
yeah. See, this is like
Joey. Did he go to the Ritacco Center?
Yeah.
Okay, I skipped that to go smoke wet with Jay Kennedy. skip because I see.
Why are you throwing his government out?
Yeah, no, I just.
Is he gonna be okay with that?
Yeah,
We could
he
edit
don't
it.
care. Yeah, he don't
We'll
care.
talk to him before
But
we release this.
we
It's gonna be-
skipped.
It's going to be released in 2 hours.
I don't give a shit. He don't care either. We skipped fucking whatever. We went to go like. 'Cause I was like, I seen it at 30 for 30 on ESPN.
Right.
I'm not going to the Ritacco Center and left school. Yeah. Bugged out on PCP.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a drug, man.
I hate
Lots
that
of fun.
shit. Nah,
It
fuck
can be.
that.
In the moment, that shit can be scary, bro.
I was, yeah.
That's one of those ones
like a
where
whole
like
other
I was
planet.
like once like I did it like 3 or 4 times like never again, and like bath salts like another one.
Yeah,
But
I ain't fucking with that. I ain't fucking with. Gabe, tell this story because you were telling us about the last rehab you went to and
Oh,
the
okay.
debate. Tell us what you tell them what you were
So-
telling me earlier about the cake.
all right, so I was just in Maryville in Pemberton, New Jersey. Now they have, I guess they just started accepting Medicaid. Like I'm on SJI funding, which is like if you're under 25 or whatever, South Jersey initiative. Let's get our kids to stop doing heroin type thing.
Yeah.
And that funding came from like Hurricane Sandy or whatever. And since it's been so many years, they cut our funding, whatever. Maryville opened a new one instead of Williamstown. It was in Pemberton, but they had long-term and short-term. And I had never been to one like that because I always go to like the shitty ones. I don't have good insurance. And they had long-term patients who were going out on furloughs and shit. So one of them was graduating from like 6 months being there. And I don't know how they did it, but they got a cheesecake to like say goodbye to him. And there was a crack pipe.
Who got?
Oh my
A crack pipe was in the cheesecake. So I don't.
What?
Yeah,
Who got the cheesecake for him? His boys?
I guess one of their moms or something or their dads, and they were like in with it. I don't know where the crack was. I don't know where the crack
So
was.
how the fuck did they figure out that there was a crack pipe in it?
So
They cut it
they
open,
start
probably.
cutting the cheesecake.
Yo.
And they just, I don't know if there was a clink or whatever, but they cut a piece and like I remember because I'd been to this rehab twice and he was at the old one. He was like a 36-year-old dude or 36 years clean, but he got like 32 years in, he got arrested for pimping hoes or something in Camden. Old black dude named Ozzy, great as shit. But every day for the next 2 weeks, he was like, "You guys think you're clean in here? There was a crack pipe in the cheesecake." But like, I don't know how they did that or what. There's just you just see the stem sticking out of a piece of cheesecake.
I mean,
my
dude,
God.
I've seen
And
some shit.
That's like meme worthy, dude.
yeah, it was. And
I've seen some shit.
Every
Not
day
that,
for 2 weeks, they'd
but-
take away smoke breaks and be like, "Why?
Yeah.
Because there was a crack pipe in the cheesecake."
That's all. That
You're-
sounds like a South Park episode or something.
That's
Your
fan-
MCM got sent
But,
back
like-
because
Yeah.
graduation cake. Had
Yeah, but I've seen shit like that. And let me say something, man. It's I'm not gonna give anybody ideas, but I'm just gonna say this. It's easy, man, to sneak drugs in.
tennis ball.
You know. Okay.
I used to stuff
But,
shit
like-
in my shampoo bottle.
Oh, cool.
Shampoo,
Gabe. Yeah, let's
I'm
just
just, like,
let's just go out there
some
and
things that
say all the
people
ways
don't
we
know
could do
that.
it.
Some are sicker than others, man.
Um,
When they'd shake it
I
and
seen-
sniff for alcohol too, I'd be like,
Dude, this one girl I was in detox with, she got her mom to send her pillow, and like some places are more strict and some places are more lenient, but like it's a fucking pillow. Like, who's gonna take the time to try and do something? Her mother opened this pillow and sewn in a script of Xanax bars in the
Oh my
Nice.
For the girl?
for the girl.
That's some sick shit, bro.
Dude, some people have relationships with their parents like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I know
yeah,
that.
sure.
I know that for sure. Like, you know,
Yep.
One of
you
our
know.
boys got a sweatshirt sent to him in rehab, and there was a vial of Coke in the pocket.
Nice.
Really?
I don't know if it was intentional by the parents or not. But
I had my parents brought in this like Under Armour, I guess it's like a ski jacket, like a winter coat that's like real good for rain or snow or anything like that. And it's got this side pocket in it that you put like a cell phone in, and it's got the spot for the headphones to come out.
yeah.
I was actually with you. We were sitting next to I was sitting next to somebody else, and I'm in a H&I meeting, and I just made myself a cup of decaf coffee because Secret House does not allow any sort of caffeine. So I make the coffee, and I'm trying to live a spiritual life. So instead of taking the sugar packets and throwing them on the ground, I zipped down my pocket and went to throw it in. like in this pocket, and then I reach in and I reach around, I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I pull out a fucking work in it with a whole bunch of blood and shit in it. And I was like,
my
no,
God.
dude. So my parents traveled down from Acco to fucking Bridgeton with this in their car, and then they searched it at Seabrook and then gave me the jacket.
Isn't that nuts?
It's crazy.
They got to go through so much shit. You can't find every fucking nook and cranny. You know?
No way. No way.
Do you guys think we are living in the Matrix? Not to like change
Can
the
we
subject,
go there,
but like,
please, dude?
I was like,
I don't even know what that means, really.
bro. I feel like we're like in
simulation,
some like
dude.
computer simulation, dude. Some shit.
Well, the Earth
is
is
just
flat. You know what I mean? Like,
nah, man. Like all this weird shit. Like, dude, Donald Trump is the president. You know what I'm saying? Like a reality TV star is the president, and like The Simpsons predicted this shit. Like all this, dude. I start getting bugged out. Like especially when I'm like sober and my mind just starts like racing.
Dude, this is the road.
I love that shit, dude. This is the road. No sound though right now.
there we go.
This is the road.
I love that rabbit hole, bro.
No, dude.
I
Yeah,
don't wanna
it
go
bugs
down.
me out. Like,
But I'll go down it.
like I used to think like
You're
heaven.
coming with us, bro.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I used to
turning
think
back
heaven
now.
was like a computer simulation that like when you die, like you just like project into like what you think you're gonna see, like whatever your heaven is,
Yeah.
your happiness, and
I mean, it could be anything, bro. Like, our brains aren't like something like we only use like 10% of our brains. Like, we don't know. Like, you can't even fathom a universe, dude. Like something that's never ending. It doesn't compute to our brains. Like,
Right.
literally, this world could be anything, and then when you die,
and all those like Mandela effects, those
Yeah, oh, that's
glitches,
just
dude.
crazy,
That
dude.
shit, like.
some people get nuts
Really?
with that though. Some people get like way over the top.
Oh no, yeah, and some
Yeah.
of them have been like confirmed to
I
be
love
wrong,
watching it,
but
though.
they're like, yo, there's some weird stuff, man. I fucking love conspiracies and
bro.
like getting deep into that shit, you know, because like science is fucking cool, but yeah, they got the one with like the I forget what it is, the something Stein bears or
Yeah, the
whatever,
Oh, yeah,
the
the
Berenstain
Berenstain
Bears.
Bernstein bears, and like
Yeah, so it's
It was
called
definitely EIN back in the day. Definitely 1000%.
So
I didn't read.
it's called
so-
it's called the Mandela effect, right? And I think how it started is people believing that Nelson Mandela died in prison.
yeah, and they were like convinced he did. There's like the one with Sinbad where they think that like the comedian was like playing a genie in a movie.
No, yeah, it was
Shaq as Kazam instead of Shazam or whatever.
Well, so the big one for me was, you know, they got that atom collider in Europe, that huge thing underground where they like
the
collide
God particle
atoms.
thing.
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Well, so that like they think a lot of it stems from that because like that's some shit, some universe like God shit, dude, that no one really understands.
You've seen the Simpsons episode where they have it like
the vote thing falls and everything.
but like I forget if it was Bart or something. He writes the equation. And it was like 14 years before the God particle
No.
equation came out.
but-
Fucking crazy.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah,
And the guy
that is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, and the guy at the atom particle, like I don't remember it exactly. Maybe you can look it up. Was wearing like a shirt, like maybe it just said Mandela. So that sent like a lot of people off with that too because there was some connection.
Here's the thing though, with a lot
Coincidences.
of this shit. Here's the
Coincidences.
thing: if you're looking for something,
Oh, you're gonna.
you're
It's
going
gonna
to
be there,
fucking
yeah.
find it, and it's going to be there. It's like you know, with some of the shit we do in the program, it's like that was God. It all depends on what your perception is. Like if you're, it's like fucking horoscopes. If you're going through something in your life and you read a horoscope, you're like, oh my God, it talked about that in my horoscope
Right, and
today.
everyone's-
But it's because now you're conditioned for it.
Yeah.
So if I'm conditioned to look for moments that I consider godly in my life, I'm going to find them. And then what happens is when I start to live like a piece of shit and stop looking for these God moments, I act like a real asshole and think the world's against me. But when I'm living right and I believe in these God moments, I start to see where like the universe is playing to my benefit.
So, do you believe in God?
I do believe in God, but what I
Can
believe
you
is
define your God?
yeah,
Or your
100%,
God of your understanding?
100%.
To me, like,
So in the absolute simplest form, I think it is positive character traits, right? Like, so, you know, like the honesty, humility, willingness, you know, truthfulness, which is the same thing as honesty, you know, doing the right thing. And pretty much what I base that all is off of the gut feeling, right? And your gut feeling can go back and forth, right? There's bad gut feeling, there's good gut feeling, but like that good one. And, you know, if you have any sort of gut feeling, you're going to know what that is, right? So I personally believe that the God moments are going to come from the inside, right? The inside out. So I personally will have these certain feelings on the inside, and like when I'm acting right, I'm right with God, and that's pretty much how that goes.
See, because like
In the most simplistic way possible I can think to describe
I
it.
would say too, like, and back to NA just for a second, like I never had a problem with, you know, a God in my understanding, a power greater than myself, because I know that there's plenty of things more powerful than me.
Right.
Like for me, like God is like the universe, like the greater energy. You know, I don't believe in religious organizations because you know I believe they're man-made. They got agendas. You know, so when people have agendas, you know, books go through translations, this and that. So organized religion, but God, you know, a grand architect, you know, positive energy, good, you know, I believe in all that, you know.
To me, it really boils down to, again, and I've heard this in rehab before too. You want some more of this water?
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude.
No, you're good. To me, what it really kind of boils down to is it's perception, right? Like if I'm living godly, as people like to call it, my perception on everything is great. You know what I mean? People aren't out to get me.
Well, yeah.
My job doesn't suck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like when I talk to new guys who are newly sober, I said, listen, bro, you just need to have a perception shift. And granted, that is not easy, but that boiled down, that's all it fucking is a perception shift.
Yeah. But it's like, it's, man, because spirituality is something I still struggle with. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like to define it, really. You know? Like I don't try to complicate it, man. And it's, my perception is about a higher power is just like still growing. You know what I mean? But I don't try to fucking complicate it. I know it's there. It's just like a sense of trust. It's a sense of like, almost like you were saying too, like, you know, good character traits. You know what I mean? But it's so much easier to believe in a higher power and to trust in a higher power when life is going good. It's like, well, yeah. Well, then you know what? Somebody up above is looking out for me. I have all these things going on. I feel great. And the moment something shitty happens, it's like, you know, fuck this, you know.
But see, that's just your perception of whatever situation is going on.
Right.
Like, take example, when our boy Carter passed away.
Yeah.
Right? You and a couple other people, if I may say, it was, why did this happen to me? Blah, 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 blah. And the way I kind of looked at it was like, all right, this could have been me, and like, what can I do to help this situation? You know what I mean? It's all just a different way of looking at it through a different lens.
Yeah,
can get you through shit.
Yeah, my perception was all fucked up there, so that's a great example. Yeah, I mean,
you know, we got through it together, me and you, but
right. But it's so hard to stay God conscious in areas like
yeah,
that. Like
bro.
how, like
I have no
you know
idea.
What I mean? Like I would see. You could tell me that right now. And it's up here because you just said it. So now it's fresh. And now it's like, you know, tomorrow I'm going to forget you said that and something shitty's going to happen and I'm not going to be God conscious and I'm going to fall into the same pattern.
Right.
Now with some, you know, spiritual maintenance, you know, some practicing and like that'll get better. But you know what I'm trying to say, right?
100%, dude.
So
100%.
But I like that. It is about perception. It definitely is.
It's all about perception, and there's no way you could ever possibly think, or that like I could really ever think that it's going to be, my perception is going to be good all the time.
Yeah,
it's just not happening, and that's like you know, I hear people talk about like you know, the devil's inside you or the God's inside you, and it really is, because really speaking, you're the same fucking person you were when you were shooting fucking dope. You really are. You're the same person. Nothing about you chemically other than drugs leaving your body, like you're the same. Like different experiences may have happened, but like you're the same person. So the only thing that changes is the way, like the way I look at things, right? That's the only thing that changes.
Well, a lot of people say that too. Like, how could God be real if he'll like take a child or let like someone get burned alive? You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's what I struggle with.
But we don't. Again, going back to the other thing, like we don't understand death for one, right? Like, for me, God's like I turn, like people say like God turning his back on me or whatever. Like like when I was getting high, when I was going through my shit, like I turned my back on God.
Absolutely, 100%.
And even now, like when I was actually going through this early, I was actually very spiritual. My connection with God was very close because I was like praying every day and meditating all this stuff. Even now, like I find myself, I still try not litter, right?
But see, that's the little shit that'll fucking get
But
you through, bro.
It's big,
That is the
dude.
little
It's
shit that will
big,
get you
bro.
through.
That's the maintenance I'm talking
It
about.
is,
Yeah.
man.
That's the practice I'm telling you.
And you gotta stay conscious about it, dude. You gotta like just do the next right thing, even when bad shit will happen. And like I don't have an answer. I don't know why God would let bad shit happen, but there's a lot we don't understand. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
you keep doing the right thing
Yeah.
for the world will give good back to you.
Yeah. There's this
So
fucking,
simple. So fucking simple.
There's this great quote on perception, and I don't know it word for word. I might butcher it a little bit, but I'll give you like the gist. Is somebody, there's two boys that grow up in an alcoholic family. You know, the alcoholic is the dad, the father. You know what I mean? And these two boys watch this alcoholic father go down this destructive path, and the one kid grows up to be the same exact way. Alcoholic, and lives a destructive lifestyle and this, that, and the other. And they asked the kid, what happened? And he said, I watched my father, and that's what I turned into. The other kid, turns out to be this great kid, helps people, has a great life, and does, wonderful things. And they asked him, how come you turned out to be this way? And he said, I watched my father. You know what I mean? It's like perception,
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's all about perception. So I'm
Talking
leaving that a
about
lot. That's a good point, Bri.
God and the devil being in you. How about that Parkland shooter? You see that shit?
Dude, I watched that video. They released his confession tape or
With
whatever.
his brother?
See, that's the only video. That's the only part of the video I watched. Did you see that, Jordan? You know who we're talking about? The Parkland
I've
shooter
heard
in
of it. I can't remember
So
which
Florida.
one it was.
Yeah, it was
At the gay club?
No, this is the school
Oh, the
shooting a
school.
couple months ago,
Right.
and he didn't kill himself. He was like one of the only ones who didn't.
Yeah.
And he was getting fan mail in jail. Girls were sending him naked pics.
It's
Like,
fucked
What?
up.
Fucked
Dude, it's fucked
up.
up. It's a
But-
weird like cult following
yeah,
now, dude.
these
It's
school
crazy.
shooters, like, but so his
Ever
brother,
since Columbine.
his brother
Columbine
came
was
in
crazy,
to
bro.
talk to him, and his brother was like, I'm sorry, I bullied you. Now this kid was fucked. Like people when this happened, they were like, he was bullied in school. He was a racist. He said he'd send back Mexicans, fuck black people. Like, so fuck
Yeah.
him. I would have fucked with him
Yeah.
in school too if I knew he was an open racist. But he was weird. There's always the weird kid in school.
Right.
Well, come to find out, his brother used to fuck with him, call him a faggot, and bully him and shit. And his brother's like crying to him, dude, I'm sorry you're like this. So like,
In the video, he's saying.
We're
in the,
wondering,
in the
you know,
confession
like-
tape
I gotta
video.
find this.
His brother comes in, and he's basically
So,
saying
like-
dude, it's like heartbreaking to watch. Not because I feel bad for the shooter. It's almost like I kind of feel bad for the other brother. He's showing like that.
He
that
feels
unconditional-
responsible.
That unconditional love. Like this kid just killed multiple
like 24 kids, I
you know what I
think.
mean? And his brother's going in there and hugging him and telling him that he loves him and he's gonna be there for him. It's just fascinating to watch. Like it's just like I can't explain the feeling. I don't know why it's fascinating, but it is. It's
A lot of
it's
that
crazy.
shit's dude.
You know
like
what I mean?
You
It's
said
just
Columbine, bro. I was a kid when that happened,
And you
shit
were out
was-
west still, weren't you?
Yeah, and that was weird. I
That was
remember
Denver.
watching the
Or-
news.
yeah. So
Colorado-
you were close
Colorado.
by.
I was like glued to the TV
Right.
watching all this shit, dude. And like I remember I found on YouTube like this shit was so crazy to me, bro. And I remember finding on YouTube videos like the security footage. It's probably still on there.
him just walking
Yeah,
down the
I think
they
I've
got
seen it.
they got
It's
rid of a lot of
fucked
that
up.
shit.
It's fucked
so
up. Them
creepy.
like walking down the hallway in those trench
In the
coats.
trench
Trench
coats.
coat mafia, like because when I was younger and this happened, that was like, oh my god, the trench coat mafia, dude. Like everyone was looking for kids in trench coats and shit. Like,
Yeah, that was a big no-no. Like you weren't allowed to wear trench coats after that.
Yeah.
But dude, how about the videos? Did you see the videos of them like prepping for all of it?
Yes.
Like them
When
going
they're
into the
shooting
woods
in
and they're
woods,
shooting at
yeah.
targets and they're saying like, yeah,
And
that's
they're
gonna be their
nuts,
fucking
dude.
faces.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's
You want to hear some crazy shit though, right? About
fucked.
kind of back to conspiracies, right? So like, that was the first real school shooting, Columbine, right? And it was on
Right.
4/20/99, I think. Something like that.
99, yeah.
And this was aired one time. Like I told you, I was following the news really close. Like I was glued to it, right? And they said they found like their diary, and in their diary, their plan was to go shoot up the school, then leave and hijack an airplane and fly it into New York City, like fly it into buildings in New York City.
How about that?
Yeah, and so that was in April 29th. Never heard it reported again. I've Googled it since to try and find it. I can't find
So
anything on it.
hold on a second. So you heard this on the news?
This was on the news. Like they had read their diary.
See, I never heard that.
This
That's
was like
crazy.
This was like during the time of Columbine, like within the. You see what I mean?
So you were watching news coverage and remember that them saying that?
Absolutely, yes.
So okay, I'm just trying to get everything straight. So you weren't watching a YouTube video. You were actually watching live news coverage of that.
Right. This was in
That's
like
funny.
'99. Yeah.
These things fucking kill my ears, bro.
Because they were saying that this kid, that David Hogg or whatever, was a crisis actor too. That this Parkland thing was a conspiracy.
I don't. Okay. Well, David Hogg's anyway.
But because his dad or whatever, right?
FBI. Yeah.
So I don't know, but there was the one girl too who was the big
Calm down.
spokesperson in this whole thing. Like, I just like how the brother felt responsible. It was
deep.
I got bullied in elementary school or whatever. People are, you're gay, whatever. And then in middle school, like I said, I was able to get weed and alcohol. I moved to Florida. I was cool. I moved back. I was the coolest kid in New Jersey, whatever. I was like
Debatable.
I go crazy. Like I hear a voice or whatever. Like, there's times where I'm like, I want to fucking shoot everyone. But I've never like planned like, like 30. And I'm like,
because by the next morning, you're like,
exactly. Did you like ever think there was like a kid in your school that like got bullied so much? Like, I'm trying to think. I don't remember anyone in my school that I was like, that kid's going to come and shoot up everyone.
It's just a weird concept.
And I'm wondering like, do you think like, you say that, like, do you really think that person would do that? Like, what do you have to go through mentally?
Because I got bullied in school. I was like a nerd, dude. Like everybody.
So was I. Like I like anime still. I don't give a fuck.
And I never like the idea of coming and killing everybody never came to my mind.
All right, I would kill myself before.
Like, okay, yeah, like so, I got fucked with too. At some points, and it's like. Dude, did I fantasize about shooting them sometimes? Sure, but not the whole school. You know what I mean? But it was never like, I'm going to plan this and I'm going to go get a gun. It was just like those thoughts that you get, those fucking crazy thoughts that you get when you're a little fucking kid and you want to retaliate.
Why do you think the Columbine shooters wanted to go to New York with it? Like, if you could just imagine that.
I don't know if they really did. I mean, maybe they did. So the way I look at that,
let's say they did. Why? Like, I'm trying to like pick their brains now as to why they would do that.
If they really wanted to do that. I don't know. I mean, go out big, right?
Because like even I think, I'm sorry, 9/11. There's shit fishy in it. I'm not saying
totally
Bush did it, but like I'm sorry, I'm not buying the regular story.
No, it wasn't
like
just Bush. It was a lot of people.
Exactly. Like, but the story they gave us, that shit did not happen. Like.
See, I don't like this.
But no, with the Columbine thing, I don't know why they would have done it.
That's because I mean, if you're gonna blow shit up, I guess New York would be the place you're gonna fly stuff into,
right?
And I'm trying.
It's not that weird of a thing to think about, right? Like that would be an extreme.
Yeah, just like kill the kids in our school and blow up a national monument. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a big step.
Right.
See, the thing that we're trying to do is like jump into the head of somebody who shot a whole bunch of people in school. This is very similar to what people try to do when they're like, why don't you just stop smoking crack, Brian? Right. You know what I mean? It's like you're never really going to be able to figure out. I think it is interesting, though, to discuss, like, I guess, like the conspiracy theories behind it. Because there's, like, a lot of evidence, but there's also a lot of fucking bullshit on the internet.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a
lot of bullshit.
Like
it's not all true.
The elementary school shooting. Like, again, I was big into conspiracy, but Sandy Hook, like, I'm not.
Okay, hold on, though. Sandy Hook. Okay, this is the type of shit.
Did you watch that video? That YouTube video with the.
But there's there's a couple big things with Sandy Hook.
What, the doctor?
The doctor, maybe.
Who's, like, laughing about kids dying or whatever? The bald one, the fat bald one, right?
Maybe, but no, there's two. I'll say two. I think I kind of remember that. But the one is, there's a guy who's a dad, right? Being interviewed as a dad.
With the kids walking, he talked about?
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't mean to keep cutting you off.
We can find the video, but he's being interviewed as a dad, right? Like he's the father of a child that got shot or was in the school. Then he's also in a video of like SWAT team guys walking, with he had the whole thing, the helmet, everything, and a gun, and he's not holding he's walking out. Now, why would this guy be the dad and also this? Go ahead.
I believe in crisis actors. Like, that's proven that they have used them. So, I mean, that could be a thing,
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Because some
I hate this shit.
So like, there's a
I
lot
hate
of
it.
bullshit, but shit like that is like, there's no question. You see the things. It's the same fucking
No,
guy.
yeah, there's
It bothers me because if you could lie about something so small
Exactly,
about that,
bro.
then you could lie about something else, and it just questions my fucking faith, bro. And I don't want to get into it.
yeah, no,
And
bro, the
we're-
government's fucked.
It just
is,
makes me
bro.
feel too small in this world. It makes
We
me-
are.
Well, and if you think
Okay,
about it, like
thanks.
the people that
Doesn't
really
make you
make
feel
these
better.
moves
That's a
have
fact.
so much money and power. Like I was talking to someone about this the other day. Like they have so much money and power, right? And we're down here, so to us it's fucked up. I gotta think, man. If I had that much money and power, I would love to manipulate the world
Oh,
as my
fuck
like
yeah.
chess game.
So
Bro,
what's
like
what's
that?
the
That's
benefit
sick,
though?
bro.
What's the benefit?
Well, because there's a lot of benefits. One is, they want to get rid of our guns.
It's
Anyway,
sicko, dude.
we can go into this for days. There's
Yeah,
What?
see,
benefits
this
for these
is the
people.
this is the whole man.
Is that what you think it is? You think it has to do with something with getting guns?
They want the people
away?
to get.
Unarmed.
They couldn't disarm us by themselves, just take our guns. But if they get the people to demand it, right?
Now,
And
I
killing
do believe
kids
that
is like
theory.
the best. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm sure. I don't want to say that it's fake. I don't know what's fake. I have no idea. Bro. I'm just
Did
some
you
guy.
watch the Sophia Small Storm unraveling Sandy Hook documentary? John McMahon, who came on the last podcast episode, showed it to me. We were actually going to start talking about it on the episode we did with him, but we never got into it. But there's some really interesting shit.
Yeah,
It
there
makes you
is.
think,
There's a
which
lot.
is cool. I like that. I would rather watch. Some people might call that garbage television, but I would rather watch that than some like bullshit.
The
CNN.
best video,
Yeah,
and
dude.
this doesn't have to do with Sandy Hook, but the best video I've watched, and it's an internet video, so people are going to hate on it, but it's called JFK to 9/11, Everything's a Rich Man's Trick.
I've seen that.
It's like a 4-hour video, and it goes from the Industrial Revolution with like Standard Oil and the guy that owned Wells Fargo and Hitler and all that, and it brings it to the Kennedy assassination
Right.
and then 9/11. And there's some real fucking bangers in there.
That
dude.
one and then 9/11, the new Pearl Harbor are the
That's
two
good too, yeah.
greatest, and they're long, but like there's some weird,
And they
fact check almost all their stuff. They back it up with resources.
And,
so
and
it's
speaking of like little lies, if they can do that, then if you watch that video and see some of this shit,
because
like
do you think Kennedy was, like, do you believe that story?
the official story,
Yeah.
absolutely not,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly,
No,
yeah.
the one in JFK to
Yeah, no,
I see
multiple
this, bro.
shooters.
It's 3
and
hours and
shit.
27 minutes
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
done
no,
with this.
it is late.
Joey's bugging out.
Is
It's
it?
too much.
It's too much for you. Too late at night.
Way too much. It's
All
been a
right.
long day,
All right.
and these conspiracy theories.
I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to ruin your
I drank
night.
2 Red Bulls. I'm fucking bugging out, man.
Uh-huh.
I just like, to get to be on like a platform and talk with other people. Like I like bringing up.
Yeah,
these
no,
things.
it's been,
Because like
dude. This
a lot of
felt
times
like
people
5
think I'm
minutes.
like
Yeah,
crazy
It's,
and like
over an hour.
hour and 20.
And my phone's dying.
Hour
anyway.
20.
Is it?
Yeah. We gotta like part 2 this thing because this
Yeah.
is
Anytime
we
you
just
want to fucking
dude, we
come
just
back
cracked,
down here, bro.
We just cracked open the
Scratch
safe.
the
Really,
surface.
we didn't even take the
Scratch
money
the
yet.
surface.
Yeah,
You know,
we
we didn't
got in
take.
there.
I
So,
fucking love it, bro. I will be a
Gabe,
recurring
thanks
guest.
for coming, man.
whenever you
Thanks
Hell
for
guys want
spending
me.
the day.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Let's part 2 this bitch because this
Part
is
two it up.
yeah.
All right, part 2 is coming soon.
Thank you to
please subscribe.
Brian and Joey. I'm
You're
sorry
welcome,
for
bro.
cutting
No,
you
no,
off.
no. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Jordan.
Just a few quick things. Please subscribe to our YouTube page. We are also on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and pretty much anywhere you
Yeah.
could ever want to fucking watch a podcast. We're there.
That's
Be on the
big
lookout
news.
for new
So-
music by Cuzzo Cook.
Oh yeah, it's dropping soon. And
So-
Easy.
Cuzzo Cook's the name,
Yeah,
right? Cuzzo Cook.
I made the decision. I'm gonna stick
I like
with Cuzzo
it.
Cook.
I like
Cuzzo Cook.
because they're cooking it.
All right, cool.
And Mom, I love you.
I love you too, mom.
I'm sure she loves you. I love my mother.
My mom's
Mommy?
she watches.
Yeah, that's awesome. I told my mom to never turn.
I
on
love
an
you too,
episode.
Mom.
Yeah.
She would hate it.
All right,
Peace.
cool.